success isn't an accident, and every single one of us has to create it on purpose. And I think it comes from within. We have to condition ourselves to create the success that we want to create in our lives. Like Tony Robbins says, your destiny is determined by the choices you make. Choose now, choose well.
Hi, I'm Christian Rodwell, and you're tuned in for another episode of Escape the Rat Race Radio. This week, I'm really pleased to welcome the founder of the Female Entrepreneur Association, Carrie Green. So I met Carrie Green a few weeks ago at the Entrepreneurs Academy London, which is a fantastic event with over 200 entrepreneurs who are receiving business mentoring and advice from some of the UK's biggest and best known entrepreneurs, including James Caan and Bianca Miller. Carrie gave a fantastic account of her story, and I was fortunate enough to spend a short amount of time with Carrie after the event and asked her if she would come along and be a guest on Escape the Rat Race podcast. She very thankfully agreed. Now, Carrie won the Changemakers Award, which was presented to her by His Royal Highness the Prince Andrew, and she is also a business mentor for the Prince's Trust and an ambassador for Virgin Startup Loans. So Carrie really knows what she's talking about, and she has been running the Female Entrepreneur Association since 2011, and there are now over 100,000 women involved around the world. So Carrie's mission is that she believes everybody has the ability to achieve amazing things in life if they have the right attitude. And the Female Entrepreneur Association is an online hub with the mission of inspiring and empowering women from around the world to turn their ideas into a reality, build a successful business, and live a life that they love. So with no further ado, let's go to our live interview with Carrie Green. So welcome, Carrie, to the Escape the Rat Race podcast.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, you're more than welcome. And now, Carrie, we met last month at the Entrepreneur Academy London, where you flew in especially from Los Angeles to speak to everyone there, which was an absolutely incredible evening. Where in the world are you today?
I am actually in England. I'm in Manchester.
Is that your home, Carrie?
Glamorous Manchester. Yeah, this is where I'm from.
Cool. Well, yeah, exactly. It's not the sunshine of Los Angeles, but I guess the business that you've managed to create over the last 4 years has now given you that freedom to travel and work from where you want.
Yeah, definitely. It's incredible.
Awesome. I just actually let everyone know, Carrie, of course, you started the Female Entrepreneur Association back in 2011. And you really have a mission to inspire and empower women from around the world to build successful businesses. So you've been consistent with creating videos really since 2012, if I'm correct?
Yes, yeah, it has been since 2012.
And just putting out a new video every week across YouTube and your blog and social media.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question would be, how important is it to start with the end in mind and to really have a future vision, even when you're just starting out?
So for me, my vision and my mission was to be able to inspire and empower as many women from around the world as I possibly could to turn their ideas into reality and build successful businesses. I didn't really know the finer details. I didn't know I was going to start a magazine. I didn't know I was going to start videos. I didn't know I was going to have a membership site. Didn't know that stuff, but I did know where I was going. I knew the path I was trying to take and the big picture. And I think it's so important to know what the big picture is. And I just call it my entrepreneurial North Star, because it helps me to make the best decisions for my business that will help keep me in alignment with my vision and where I'm going. So I don't think you have to know all the tiny little details. I think the path unfolds and takes all these twists and turns that you could never have foreseen. But the key is to get started and to know where you're going in terms of like the big stuff.
Absolutely. And I know that you say that the secret to success is having the right mindset. So can you explain that a little bit more for us, please?
Yeah, like I'm just a massive believer. I think, success isn't an accident, and every single one of us has to create it on purpose. And I think it comes from within. We have to condition ourselves to create the success that we want to create in our lives. And like Tony Robbins says, your destiny is determined by the choices you make. Choose now, choose well. And so I realized that I needed to make really good decisions, and we make our decisions based on our frame of mind. So ultimately, the lives we're creating for ourselves start from within. They start from our thoughts and what we're thinking. So I think for me, it's so important that I'm thinking the right things. I'm focusing on where I do want to be, not where I don't want to be, and focusing on how I'm going to grow, and instead of focusing on the fears and the doubts and the worries. So it's been like a massive exploration for me to figure out how I can hone myself and condition myself for success, literally training my brain to focus on the positives and to visualize and achieving what I want to achieve and experiencing the things I want to experience before I actually experience them, if that makes sense. So for me, that's been absolutely crucial, because the entrepreneurial journey is a crazy one. There are so many ups and downs and twists and turns, and you don't know where it's going, and you have to have so much trust and faith that somehow it's going to work out, because there are no guarantees. You don't know. So that's for me why having the right mindset is absolutely crucial, because it's what will keep you going. Even something as simple as, like, I used to have a quote on my wall that said, "Successful people hang on when everyone else has let go." And that really helped keep me going. It helped to have the mindset and the strength of mind to keep going and to say to myself, "Carrie, you can do this." Even though it felt impossible, it inspired me and motivated me and made me believe that if I just hung on, I could get there and make it happen. I think it's so important.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And you've built up a huge community now. I know you have over 330,000 likes and followers on Facebook, and you've had, correct me if I'm wrong, over 5 million people visiting your website. So what have you now been able to create in terms of products and a service for all of the women that connect with you through the Female Entrepreneur Association? How can you help them now to achieve their goals and create an online business for themselves?
So in 2013, we started the Members Club, which is like the inner circle, or the kind of the community of women who wanted to get more involved, and they wanted more support and help and inspiration and strategies to help me to build a successful business. So it's such a lovely group of people. There's 3,500 incredible women and some guys in there too, from literally all over the world, from all different backgrounds, running all different kinds of businesses. And we're there to support each other and to encourage each other and to answer questions and give feedback. And we also have experts that we work with every month, where we provide new trainings and share strategies to help people up-level their business and create the success they want to create. Because I always think, no one's got all the answers. I mean, I don't have all the answers. There's so many things I don't know. But when we come together, we're so much more powerful and we can achieve so much more. And that's what I really wanted to create, a space to enable people to collaborate and really support and help each other so that we can all grow and create incredible businesses.
It's brilliant. And I was looking at your website, and there's so many success stories there, which a whole range of different businesses. So the term online business is obviously very popular now, and we're really moving into the age of the entrepreneur, especially the online entrepreneur. We always begin with your passion as well. It's something we say, well, look, if you're going to design your life and you want to get out of the rat race and actually spend your days doing something on purpose and with passion, but how do you monetize your passion? When people come to you and ask you that question, Carrie, what's your advice?
Oh, wow. I guess it's different for everyone. It depends on what your business is. Well, I started my first business was something I wasn't passionate about at all. And sometimes I think when you are getting started, you're not quite sure, it's better to just get started, because the path will unfold and you will learn and grow so much as a person that it will be an invaluable experience. And then that will lead the way to whatever is next. So for example, if I hadn't run my first business, there's no way in hell I'd be able to start the Female Entrepreneur Association. So I'm so grateful to have had that experience, even though I wasn't passionate about the first business. It was mobile phone unlocking, so boring. So I think it's important to realize that, and to also realize that you're not 100% passionate about something all the time. Like, you have ebbs and flows of things. But for me, how do I monetize FEA? I knew if I could build a community of like-minded people who understood and resonated with the message that I had to share, and I knew if I could serve those people to the best of my abilities and go above to delight them and wow them and to make them feel like what I was doing was so in alignment with them, that I knew that somehow I'd be able to make it work. And so the key really is to create the audience, to really share your message, and to nurture the community. And if you can do that, you can always monetize it, no matter what you're doing. I think it's the fundamentals for anyone in business doing anything. You have to know what your message and mission is, and how you're going to serve your audience, and have actually build the audience and expand your reach, and you can make it a huge success.
I guess no matter how quirky your personal interests or things that you want to maybe start around a business, you're always going to find other people out there who will have those similar passions and interests, I guess.
100%. And I think it doesn't matter whether it's a product, a service, a membership site, online course. It really doesn't matter. If you have an audience of people who love what you're doing and love your brand and your message, then you're going to be able to make it successful financially.
That's fantastic advice. Now, there may be some people listening, Carrie, a little bit more introverted. They're not so comfortable with creating videos and maybe struggling a little bit with building that audience. Do you have any insights from your community for different ways to go about connecting with other people and growing that audience?
Yeah, I think it's step by step. I'm a massive introvert. I struggle to put myself out there. I think a lot of people do. And then you see other people's videos and they're like funny and they're crazy and like, oh my goodness, should I be more like that? But I'm not like that. And it's a minefield. Like it's hard because you can't help but get caught up with comparisonitis. But my suggestion would be just take it step by step. Start where you're comfortable starting and just do what you can do right now to get your message out there. So maybe it's just that you're going to start writing a blog. Maybe you can start a podcast. Maybe you are going to go networking or just join Facebook groups and start connecting with people in there and start getting your message out that way. There are so many different routes to go down, and you ultimately have to go with the route that feels best for you right now. And then you'll grow and develop and your confidence will get bigger and bigger and you'll venture into doing things. Like I didn't start doing videos right at the beginning of FEA. I think if I'd have tried to do that, I would have felt so out of my depth. It was something that occurred because I'd been running FEA for nearly 2 years by that point, and I'd got myself to a place where I felt confident and comfortable sharing my advice through videos. The first few videos I made, in fact, the first load of videos I made were horrendous, like they're embarrassing. But I think you have to realize that everyone starts somewhere, and you have to really honor the process of being an entrepreneur and knowing that in the beginning it's going to be messy and not the best and not perfect, but it's better to get it out there than to not. And, I always think to myself when I'm facing, my fears, and if you're an introvert, your fear is getting yourself out there. I always think, we just have, this is a bit like massive perspective on things, but for some reason we are here on this planet. I think it's just an incredible opportunity we all have to explore the possibilities in life and to seek out the opportunities and to just go for it, because what's the point in not going for it? Like, so what if someone says, oh, I don't like that video? Like, it's not going to make a difference when you're 6 feet under. We all are going to die. And I know that sounds so morbid and dramatic, but things like that really help me to like just push on through and push past my fears and to make me realize that I've got one life and I know I want to make it extraordinary. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to step up and to be the person that I know I can be. Which is, again, it comes back to mindset, which is why I think mindset is so important, because we've all got these fears and these doubts and worries that niggle away at us, and we can either let them control us or we can choose a different path. So yeah, so that's a long way to answer your question. But.
Brilliant. I mean, it really comes down, I guess, to stretching your comfort zone a little bit and just trying to really, battle those limiting beliefs, because as you say, we only have a finite amount of time, and what's the point of not pushing ourselves and seeing what we can achieve?
Exactly.
Yeah, and how important would you say in your experience, Carrie, is having a mentor as well to actually be pushing you and nudging you in the right direction?
I think it can be so invaluable. So what it was last year, I hired my first mentor. Actually, I have two. One is to help me with mindset and personal, like emotional issues related to business. And the other one is a mentor who he's like a few steps ahead of where I'm at. He's built a really, really successful membership site. So he's there to help show me what he did and kind of show me the way in terms of more business strategy. And it's so invaluable. Like I'd never be where I am today if it wasn't for working with especially with my mentor Stu. He's taught me so much about building a successful membership site, and he helped me to triple my membership site in less than a year from the strategies he shared with me. And again, it comes back to this whole point that none of us have all the answers, but when we work together with like-minded people, then we can achieve so much more, so much faster.
Definitely. So that comes on nicely to your peer group and having the right people around you. So when I had the pleasure of listening to your presentation at the Entrepreneur Academy London, you shared with everybody your 7-step formula for creating a successful business. Would you mind just sharing that with all of the Escape the Rat Race listeners for us, Carrie?
The 7 steps are really simple but have really helped me along my journey. The first step is to really get clear on what your mission and your vision is for your business. I call it my entrepreneurial North Star, knowing what my business mission is, what my big picture is, and also knowing what my personal mission is, why I'm doing it, what is the point in it all. So getting really clear on those two things is so important, and you have to stay clear on them. It's not something you can just think up one day and then completely forget about. So you have to keep it front and center, guiding you, helping you to make the best decisions that will help you stay in alignment with that vision. The second thing is then really getting to know your audience and understanding them. And this again is something you have to do consistently. I am always trying to get to know my audience better. To write out an audience profile, like for example, for me, it's things like, she has an idea and she really wants to turn it into a successful business, but she feels overwhelmed and frustrated. She doesn't know how to do the things she needs to do in order to make it happen. She feels isolated. So I wrote out this whole audience profile addressing their challenges, their desires, and all of that stuff. But I also try and put surveys out to my audience, and I ask questions on social media, things like, what is your biggest business frustration right now? So I can understand where they are at, and so that I know how I can help serve them more. So get to know your audience and then just constantly keep trying to understand them and to put yourself in their shoes so that you can really meet them where they're at. The third thing is then to really get clear on how you're going to serve your audience. What are you going to do to go above and beyond to delight them and to wow them and to make them fall in love with what it is that you've created, with your brand, with your message? How are you going to resonate with them in a way that is so impactful? So for me, those questions it's so important. I ask myself those questions every single day. What am I doing to serve my audience? And it could be putting out something on Facebook, an inspirational quote. It could be making a new video and posting that out to my email list. It could be creating a new challenge or freebie or video series. It's creating amazing content in the members club, understanding what my branding is to make it all look beautiful so that when someone comes to the website, they feel like they love it. Well, obviously not everyone loves it, but the people who I want it to resonate with will like it, and they'll be like, oh, this is so pretty, and it'll make them feel a certain way. So it's like thinking about how you want to make them feel, how are you going to really connect with them. Even things like the email sequences you have. So when someone comes across your website, what are you doing to nurture the relationship with them? Are you asking them to come and join you on your email list or to share something of value with them? When they do sign up to your email list, what are the emails that you send them after that? How are you going to keep nurturing them and keep developing the relationship with them and keep letting them know that you're there and that you support them? Obviously, everyone's business is different, so you just have to tweak this to make it work for you. But we've all probably had experiences where we've interacted with a brand or a company and they've wowed us, and then we've gone and told all our friends and family about how amazing the company is. And so that's what we have to create, because that's what you want to do. If you want to stand out, you have to create an exceptional experience for your audience. The fourth thing is then figuring out how you can have a breakthrough, how you can expand your reach and get in front of your audience. So from my perspective, I think it's so much more powerful when you figure out when you pick one core marketing strategy, because it's so easy at the moment to feel like you have to be on every single social media platform out there, and it becomes overwhelming, and your focus gets diffused by trying to market on so many different platforms. It's too much, and you end up not being able to have a breakthrough because you're all over the place and it feels messy and stressful. So when I started the Female Entrepreneur Association, I just made the decision that my core marketing strategy was going to be Facebook, and that's what I was going to focus on. And I made the decision that I was going to become an expert at using Facebook. So I would learn and I would test and I test and I test, and it took a while to get things going. At the beginning, it was disheartening when no one was commenting and responding to things, but I persevered with it. And then stuff started happening. I started to see results. My email list grew. The traffic to my website grew. And so I started to learn more and more and more. And I've continued to focus on Facebook to expand my reach. And it's paid off so much. It's like you said before, it's like there's over 300,000 followers, fans on there. And it drives so much traffic to my website. It's so powerful. But I don't know if I'd have got to where I am today had I not focused solely on Facebook. If I'd have been hopping around trying to be good at Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest, then I'm not sure I'd have created the growth I've created with the entire audience of FEA. So decide what your core marketing strategy is going to be, and then make sure you're focusing every day on how you're growing, and you will grow so much faster. The fifth thing is to network and to network and to network, because it's so important to surround ourselves with like-minded people and to build up our support networks and to be able to turn to people that can help us and answer our questions and give us feedback. It could just be joining a free community, a free Facebook group where you know that you're going to be hanging out with like-minded people. Or it might be that you go networking in person to lots of different events and you get to connect with people there. But it's so invaluable. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for the networking I did, because through the people I've met, then they told me things like, have you thought about doing video? It's really powerful. Or have you thought about doing a membership site? It could work really well for you. I was at an event last week and I got talking to this guy and he gave me so many amazing ideas that I never even thought about. That's the power of networking. And also just from the emotional support side, but also from the side of the perspective that they can help connect you with people that you don't even know exist right now, but that could transform your business. So networking is so powerful. So really get yourself out there. The sixth thing for me is really taking time to condition yourself for success. Pay attention to what you're thinking, because ultimately your thoughts are creating the decisions you're making and the reality that you're creating for yourself. So start focusing more on what you do want and instead of what you don't want. Take time to create a vision board, get clear on all of your goals and dreams, do whatever it takes and learn new ways to move past your fears and your doubts and your worries so that they don't hold you back and slow you down as much. Just immerse yourself in conditioning yourself for success. There's so many different things you can do. I could talk about that forever. And then finally, the whole point is to be consistent with all of this stuff. Like, you can't just decide that one day you're going to condition yourself for success and then you never do it again for the rest of your life, because it's not going to be good enough. And it's the same with, you can't decide one day to figure out who your audience are and then to never learn more about them ever again. These things are things you have to be doing consistently, day in, day out, day in, day out. And when you have that consistency, that's when you have massive growth. Like, if you do all of those things, there was actually an additional step that I put in since you heard me talk about these 7 steps. And the 8th step was to learn, never stop learning, because there's so much information out there that's so transformational and so powerful for us all. And it's about learning and constantly expanding ourselves and our minds so that we can grow and thrive and succeed. So when you do all of those things consistently, you can't not grow. You have to grow because you're completely focused on growing. So for me, those 8 steps lead to success if you do them consistently, hands down. I try to be concise.
Well, we've even got a bonus step as well there. So that's awesome. I mean, such invaluable advice there, Carrie, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. So my final question for you, just before I let you go, you've achieved financial freedom for yourself by the age of 30. You've set up a hugely successful worldwide online business and a really successful membership site. So what's next, Carrie?
The next is, oh my goodness, there's so much going on. I feel like I'm pulled in a million different directions. But the next big project is my book. I have my first book coming out in February. It's been published with Hay House, which were on my dream board for a very long time to get a book published with them. So that's the next big project for me, which I'm so excited about.
Brilliant. Well, I'll obviously keep everyone updated on the details of that once that's ready for release. I wish you all the best, Carrie. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks.
And may your success continue and the world is your oyster.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been so fun to be here.
Brilliant. Take care, Carrie. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Well, that's it for another week of Escape the Rat Race Radio. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Carrie Green. I certainly did. I learned so much again, and she really, really inspires people, over 100,000 members in her community. If you haven't already checked out the Female Entrepreneur Association, go and check out the Facebook page. Over 330,000 fans and likes on there now. And go and check out some of Carrie's videos on YouTube. If you enjoyed this week's podcast with Carrie, then why not check out our other podcasts? They're all stored on the Escape the Rat Race website, and you can go and check that out at www.etrr.online, where you'll find tons of training, educational resources, and mentors which you can speak to and ask for advice so that you can choose the right path for you when building your business. So, wishing you a fantastic week. Go out there, work, focus, and achieve your goals. And we'll see you in another couple of weeks for Escape the Rat Race Radio.